All right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to CrawlCast, episode number 7. So we got a couple things to talk about today, but the very first thing we got to get off the list is our boy Gabe has still yet to try Chick-Fil-A.
Yeah.
He said he tried it however many years ago when he first moved to Colorado or whatever, and said that chicken was dry and it wasn't a good sandwich. So
yeah, 19 years ago.
Ryan and I decided today that before we shot this podcast, we would go and just get some of the Lord's chicken. And all we did was spicy chicken sandwiches, because that's like the staple, right? So we did spicy chicken sandwiches and lemonade, because their lemonade is just off the hook. So we're going to eat these to start this. And we're going to get as live as it can be. However many.
I'm actually really excited about this because literally the last time I had this was 19 years ago.
I'm really excited about this too, because I'm pretty excited about it every time I eat it.
Can we insert the Halo theme song in the background? Kyle, this one's for you.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah.
It's got a pickle in it too.
Real good. I generally get mine with pepper jack, but Ryan screwed the pooch on that one.
This is riveting audio, by the way, because everyone's going to just hear.
It's going to be an ASMR podcast.
Yeah, I think I don't want to say the wait was worth it, because it's good. It's just not. It's not what I expected, I guess.
Way better than Popeyes and McDonald's and Wendy's or whoever else has been saying that they're trying to beat Chick-Fil-A.
Actually, this Wendy's is better than this.
Nope.
There's something wrong with you, bro. Way wrong with you.
This is not spicy, for one. And two, it's a very small piece of chicken on a very small piece of bun. The Wendy's one is a very big piece of chicken. It's actually spicy. And at least the bun has sesame seeds.
Well, sesame seeds can register for poppies on drug tests, so I'm anti-sesame seed anyway.
I can already tell right now, people are going to give me a bunch of shit for saying this.
Oh yeah, you're fucking ruined, bud.
I'm going to get hate mail.
You might get death threats.
This is another one of Gabe's unpopular opinions.
Kyle right now is listening like, this motherfucker, I'm gonna shank you. But the lemonade is off the hook.
Oh yeah.
I will say that.
I think I said it in episode 2 that I like getting Dr. Pepper, and Ryan had mentioned how good the lemonade is. And so I tried the lemonade the next time I went, which was probably the next day. You know what I mean? Or maybe right after we got done shooting that episode. And I haven't drank anything there but the lemonade and milkshakes, because the milkshakes are super good as well.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what does set this apart from Wendy's is the pickle. Because I'm a sucker for a good pickle. Yeah. And a pickle and a sandwich. I know what you're thinking, you motherfucker.
He said he's a sucker for a good picker.
A good picker.
Pickle.
But seriously, like, Wendy's does not have a pickle in it unless you ask for it. And even if you did ask for it, I don't know if they put it in there because they're fucking incompetent motherfuckers.
15 bucks an hour, man.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, this is, it's not what I had 19 years ago.
So good.
It's better than what I had 19 years ago, but it's not.
It's not Nashville chicken hot.
No, it's not even hot. I mean, I think I've had pepper that's been hotter than this.
Mm-hmm. So I will. I'm not knocking Chick-Fil-A, but their spicy chicken does seem to kind of fluctuate day by day. Like one day you'll need that entire lemonade to be able to get that thing down, and then the next day you're like, man, I'm gonna put some tapatio on this or something.
I mean, I'll have this again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's not like Five Guys where I'll never have Five Guys again. Mm. Five Guys is garbage. Sorry.
The only thing good about Five Guys is if you're a malt vinegar fan, you can load up on the malt vinegar there on your French fries and on your burger, and then because they decide that it's a good idea to have like 40 bottles of malt vinegar out, you can take some home with you too. I think that's what they allow you to do there. I'm not sure.
I've never heard of malt vinegar. Is it like malt liquor?
Huh. I don't think you can get drunk on it though. You've never put malt vinegar on your French fries or anything?
I've never heard of it.
Wow. Man, yeah, malt vinegar makes French fries for sure.
Really? Mm-hmm. Well, I don't like vinegar chips either. Salt or what's it?
Yeah.
Salt and vinegar chips.
I do. Mm-hmm. But I'm a husky fella, so
I'm husky too, but I think I'd rather have like a flaming hot Funyun or a flaming hot Cheeto or something.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the only thing I don't eat is I don't like cooked spinach. I like raw spinach. I don't like cooked spinach.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't like cooked fruit for some reason. So this guy doesn't get into pies or anything like that. But
So pineapple does go on pizza. Just
no,
throwing that.
it doesn't. No,
No, it doesn't. Absolutely not.
And that's not a non-cooked fruit thing. That's just the right things to put on pizza, or the wrong things, I guess.
I think the weirdest thing I've seen on pizza being eaten was honey at Bojo's until I ate it. And I was like, this is phenomenal.
Yeah, super good. I like honey on my pizza, but I don't like put it like all over my pizza. I just use it for the crust.
Oh no, I drizzle it everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the pizza. I mean, there are some pizza like the honey barbecue chicken pizzas and stuff. They'll do barbecue all over it. But
this was a great surprise. I was not expecting Chick-Fil-A today.
yeah, and it's super good. Told
Yeah,
you.
now you've had it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm excited because we are finally out of, lockdown and able to be back together and whatnot. So I hope everybody fared well through it and stayed healthy and well and their families were well. But man, I'm ready to get back to doing this podcast and filming off-road events and getting back out on the fucking trail. So I'm glad we're beyond this at this point in time.
I mean, I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I think the country went about this all wrong.
Yeah, I kind of do too. We like at work, we completely blew this thing out of the water. And I mean, we were getting temperature checks walking through the door and, following like CDC mandated shit. Like we were having to clean our workstations and all that shit at least twice a day, armrest, mouse, keyboards. They wanted it done 4 times a day.
Wow.
You're supposed to sign off on it. And then I don't know if they were just keeping record of it or like all the little sign off sheets they were, scanning and sending to the CDC, proving that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing or whatever. But yeah, it was overboard, man. I think everything went overboard from buying too much toilet paper to locking the entire country down. So
I think the way they should have done it, and I think other people agree with this, not a lot of people, obviously, but some, is those that are susceptible to it, stay home.
Yeah.
If you live with someone that's susceptible to it, stay home.
Right.
Everyone else, go about the same checking procedures and everything else once you start feeling that you're sick or something.
Yep.
Right.
Because there's a lot of people that are losing their businesses right now. There's a lot of people on trying to get unemployment that can't.
Yep.
So it's gonna hurt the economy for a while, I think.
Yeah, probably for a long while, I guess.
Well, not even just the coronavirus stuff, but like the oil prices right now.
Oh yeah.
That affects more than just, the economy. It affects prices across the board for everything.
Right.
Hats, shirts, microphones, computers. It's got a lot of petroleum byproduct in it. And
Yeah, people don't realize that.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they'll bitch and complain about oil, not realize that they're using a cell phone that's using petroleum product.
Yeah, or they put gas in their car to drive wherever they're at to bitch about said product.
Right. I mean, it's just people don't really think about it.
Right.
And it's aggravating.
Yep. Agreed.
I mean, especially for you, because you're in oil. Mm-hmm. I used to be in oil.
Right.
Now I'm in healthcare, but it's such a weird jump.
Yeah. Yeah,
but,
man.
I had to take advantage of that situation, so I did.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's just people don't realize that there's so much in their house that might be in their pocket right now that comes from petroleum.
Right. Yep. It's just one of those things where, you got to look at it in someone else's shoes. Like you're in healthcare and you're in alcohol. They didn't get affected a whole lot. Mm-hmm. You guys didn't shut down. You can't stop the flow of molten glass.
Right.
Healthcare didn't slow down because they still have to, get healthy and get treated. Mm-hmm. Oil, they could be like, stop. We'll get it from somewhere else.
Right.
You know, so luckily we're still open and we're still pulling it out of the ground, and I still have a job for now.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, you know, what happens with some of the boots on the ground, if you will. You know, the guys that are out running the rigs and derricks and out in the field and whatnot. Because I can't imagine that I can imagine, I should say, that a good majority of them probably already been laid off.
Yep.
Within probably when this first started happening, because they were probably like, well, we're going to have to scale things back and run skeleton crews. And then the ones that were able to stay on, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised to know that another probably 50% of what was left probably got, you know, cut loose. Because, I mean, when the price for barrel oil goes goes into the negative, they can't pay these guys to be pulling out of the ground.
Right.
You know, so yeah, man, I think it's going to be a long economic return. But I'm not very quiet about it. But you know, with Trump, one of the things he said is, I built the best economy and I'll do it again. I'm not that worried about it.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I agree with him, man. He built the best, at least of our lifetime and maybe in our nation's history. I'm not some historian or economist, but at least our lifetime is, before the crash with coronavirus, the economy was the best it's ever been. And I have no doubt that he can do it again.
Sure. And it's still not the worst it's ever been. You know,
right,
oil prices may be the worst they've ever been, but everything else is still decent.
And here's another misconception. The president does not control oil.
Right.
The president didn't control oil when it was Bush, senior or junior,
right,
Clinton or Obama.
Yeah, well, the United States is a very small aspect of the oil world anyway. Mm-hmm. You're talking overseas where there are hundreds of millions of barrels that they're exporting. And we're a fraction of that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the only thing with our natural oil deposits that we have in this country, and Ryan, you probably know more than I do, but I mean, what I understand about it is like we have enough to be able to sustain this country. Like we couldn't be the major oil export for the world.
Nope.
So we do a small fraction of oil anyway.
Yeah, and the United States buys oil like
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. They buy it from Saudi Arabia when the prices are stupid cheap, and
that's just part of business, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, anyone would do that if they're a supplier themselves and they see another chain that has $1 less of something that's going into the product. They're going to take advantage of that because that increases their revenue.
Right. Yep.
Their profit margin. So one thing that's cool today is we're going to have a guest on, and a lot of people might know her. Who knows?
It's questionable. I doubt many people know who this chick is.
May or may not have heard about her.
Yeah.
She's really cool.
So today we wanted to kind of find out what it was like to be a woman in a heavily male-dominated sport, hobby,
recreation,
exercise, whatever you want to call it. And so today we are going to bring Spring Jones on and get her view on it. I mean, she seems like she's one of the, new up-and-comers. She's not some, salty veteran that's been doing it for forever. And, slowly building her Jeep, and Rock Crawler just recently stepped up huge for her and got her set up with an awesome suspension setup. So just kind of want to see what her views are. So we're going to go ahead and get her on the phone and get rolling with that. So hi, Spring. It's Adam. How are you?
Hey, what's up?
Just trying to make sure this phone call stuff was working correctly.
It's our first time that we've ever had anyone as a guest on the phone. So, this is Gabe, by the way.
Oh, special.
You're a little special. You can say that.
Special ed, maybe.
I've been told that a couple of times.
I think we all have.
Yeah, turn that down a little bit.
I'm like running around. I'm like, okay, I need to go get my phone thing, change my shirt to a JK Lancer, and figure out where to set up that. And then Ryan texted me, like, phone number. I'm like, what?
We just want them digits.
Yeah, I should have put it in the ignore folder. Nope.
All right.
So the reason why we wanted to bring you on today is because we're looking to get the, I don't want to say opinion. What would you say, Adam?
Point of view.
Point of view. Yeah. A female's point of view, being in a male dominant hobby, sport, industry, that sort of thing.
So what can you tell us about that?
Oh my God, it's so broad.
Well, we can narrow it down. We'll feed off of it.
Yeah. So first of all, give us a little bit of background on yourself.
Yeah. How did you get into off-roading and buying your JL and all that stuff?
So when I was a kid, my grandpa always had a Wrangler. And so he actually, my senior year in high school, I drove his TJ, black, rough, old, soft top halfway hanging on. My senior year, and I loved it. And so I've always wanted one. Just could never afford one while I was in college. So I went through like a breakup that ended with an engagement ring that I sold and put a down payment on my JL.
There you go.
No, that's a story I've never heard or knew about. So
stick it to the man on that one.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna just take your fucking ring, and I'm gonna.
It's a JL now. Thanks.
Yeah. So I had my ex bought me the ring was like $11,000, so I sold it for $6,000, and it was all profit for me. So, and I put my dad's the one that actually pushed me. He's like, "Look, you've always wanted a Jeep. You have the money. Like, you live with us." Because I moved back home with my parents. They didn't make me have to pay bills or anything. So I just had. I was a social worker for the state, so I was making money. So they're like, "Go get it now, because you'll never have the opportunity again." So I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, I think that's.
So I went and got it.
Sorry.
Yeah, good.
I was gonna say, I think that's kind of everybody's story, that they like kind of stumble into owning some sort of off-road vehicle. Like, it was never like, I think everybody had the plan and then just kind of like, oh, well, I bought one now what? So, but I wish somebody would give me $11,000 ring that I could hawk off for half the price and go buy another Jeep. Right.
Well, yeah, honestly, whatever, even if I got $1 for it, it was money in my pocket, so I didn't care. So yeah, I put $5,000 down and I didn't even know, honestly, I didn't know much about Jeeps. I literally didn't know anything, which is surprising now, like being in the industry. I didn't know anything. I didn't know there was a difference between a JK and a JL. Like, I was the perfect victim for a salesperson when I walked on the lot. I was like, I want that, and I want it black, and I want it lifted with big tires. And they're like, okay.
So from that point till now, then obviously you're a 1, being very green. What would you rate yourself now as far as knowledge?
I would probably say like 7-ish. I don't know everything, obviously. It would take me forever to learn everything. But I actually in March made 2 years of had my Jeep, and from the day I bought my Jeep not knowing even how to put it in full drive to selling people Jeeps that are built with Hemis in them, and like, I've probably learned most of the aspects of what goes into the Jeeps and full drive and off-roading, from gears to tires to Hemis. It's too broad. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the other day you were in the drive-thru and you had to shut the Jeep off.
Yeah, I was driving. So JK Land has the Hellcat Gladiator from America's Most Wanted, Hellcat hip swap, and it's so loud. I was at Popeyes trying to order, and they were like, I didn't even hear them come on the little microphone thing, and then I was like, hello, and they're like screaming hello at me, so I had to turn the Jeep off.
Did you just say you were
I was like, oh my God.
Did you just say you were at Popeyes?
Why did you go to Popeyes? Yeah. It better have been a Sunday.
You weren't able to hear it, but we just opened up this episode by crushing some Chick-Fil-A. So now oh God, now it's never going to end.
Nope.
So, and the reason why we had Chick-Fil-A is because it was my first time in 19 years having a chicken sandwich from them. And
what?
He said it wasn't that great, just so you know.
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't spectacular or anything.
From Chick-Fil-A?
Yeah.
I I like their chicken nuggets more. I like that every time I go, I just get chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets are bomb. So does my 2-year-old son.
Yeah. No, literally, like every time I go out to eat with my friends, I order the kids menu because I like grilled cheese, chicken nuggets, and macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Right.
I don't blame you.
The fries were off the hook though.
So what was the
Like,
go ahead.
Yeah, I went to the Popeye. They have blackened chicken tenders that are like grilled, blackened, seasoned. That is amazing.
That does sound pretty bomb.
Yeah, it does.
For grilled,
so
that's not,
good.
doesn't sound too bad.
So Spring, I got a lot of flack from these guys right now because I said that Wendy's chicken sandwich was better than Chick-Fil-A's. What do you think?
Oh. I honestly don't really like chicken sandwiches, so.
There you go.
You're really no
I
help in this
don't think
conversation,
I've
are you?
I know.
Next, hang up the phone.
Well, I would just say, go with the Lord's chicken like everyone else. But Popeyes is my home, so I mean it's a New Orleans restaurant, so.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Louisiana fresh.
It's old.
Yeah.
So what was your first Jeep off-roading event that you attended? And what did you take away from it? Like what were you kind of taken back by, and what were you kind of amazed that happened at those events?
So when I first saw my Jeep, I actually ran into a Jeep meet at a restaurant. Like I was at a restaurant eating, and the one next door was having a Jeep meet, and it was a parking lot full of Jeeps. So one of my best friends ran over there and was like, "Oh my gosh, you just bought a Jeep! Like, come introduce yourself." And so it was Louisiana 4x4 is my home club from Louisiana, and they pretty much took me in and just taught me almost everything I knew in regards to like off-roading and like airing down and putting in full-wheel drive, like the difference between full high and full low, like when to use it, which gear to put it in when you're going up a hill or down a hill, different things like I would have never known. So I think my first ride with them was actually a night ride, which is probably not a smart idea, but now that I think about it, but
way to get your feet wet.
That was my first.
Just jump right in.
Yeah, like just jump right in with no light bars, no lockers, that whole thing. That honestly, like I was very surprised at what my Jeep could do with, being. I still call my Jeep stock because I don't really have a true lift kit. I have a spacer kit, 2.5-inch spacer lift from 35s and 20s, which is not off-roading at all. So I was actually very surprised. Like I've never, except for this past weekend, had to be winded out of anything. And Louisiana's not like, it's mostly mud and rock. So it's not like somewhere you can like Moab where your tires like stick to the ground. You pretty much are sliding all over. You're in the woods. There's mud everywhere. So
sounds like some East Coast wheeling.
Yeah, really.
Mud and trees.
Yeah. Did you see my video of me being went out this past weekend?
Yep, sure did.
Yeah, that was scary. That was probably besides Helder's End, my legs have never really shook before when I was wheeling off-roading, except for on Helder's End and on the past weekend. Like my legs were shaking.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So,
but yeah,
was Moab 2019 your first major off-road Jeep event?
Yes, and it was the best experience of my life, honestly. I was probably on a high the entire time I was there. I just wanted to soak up every moment because it just flew. It takes forever to get here, and then once it's here, it flies by.
Yeah. I know one of the things that at least I joke about, and I know we kind of joke about, is I get over Moab by the end of EJS. Especially last year for us, because we did 2 week-long events there. So we did Easter Jeep Safari, and then we did another event in July out there. So we end up
just overload.
Yeah, just based on location, because for us to get to Moab's about a 5-hour drive. So Moab happens a lot in our lives, so you kind of get over it. But I am so bummed that Easter Jeep Safari didn't happen this year, and I've just been looking at my calendar trying to figure out what,
When we can
three
go.
or 4 day weekend I can get out there and get some wheeling done. Even though at the end of it, I'll be like, all right, cool. I have my fix.
Yeah.
So let's go to that really quick because you were supposed to go this year, right? To EJS?
Me?
Yeah.
Was I supposed to go?
Yeah, you were supposed to go to EJS this year, right?
No, so I started working at JK Land, and they had already planned to go, but we only have 2 salespeople, so the other salesperson was already going, and he kind of, earned to go because he's been there since they've opened. So it was like, I go to GP, he goes to EJS, which I didn't want to be selfish and be like, no, I'm going to EJS, so, because I've already been, and I would love for, when anybody asks me, like, hey, where should I go wheeling? Like, Moab is my top of the list recommendation, and I would love for everyone to be able to go and experience that. So I was like, yeah, you go to EJS this year, I'll go to G Beach, and then next year we can swap. So Kevin and Chris is our lead tech, was going to go to EJS this year, and then I was going to go to G Beach, because I've never been to G Beach anyway, so.
That's almost surprising to me that you've never been to G Beach, being that you are from the South, and I can't imagine that either from Louisiana or where you're at now, it's that inconvenient to go to Jeep Beach. I'd like to go to Jeep Beach one time.
Yeah. From what I've seen and heard, it's a week-long party on the beach.
Party.
Yeah, just a big giant party.
The first year I owned my Jeep, I bought it in March, so I didn't even know about Jeep Beach until after Jeep Beach. And the second year I had my Jeep, I was living in Washington when Jeep Beach happened. It was like the weekend after EJS.
Yeah, I guess that's
so
true.
We went straight back to Washington. Yeah. So I was across the country the second year I knew about Jeep Beach. So this year was going to be the year, and then coronavirus.
Well, they got it rescheduled for September now, I think, right?
Yeah, but it's not going to be the same. Like, I don't know what vendors are even still participating. They have events all week long from different vendors that are, different companies that are going to do different events every night, different parties, and I don't even know if that's still happening.
Yeah, that could be true because I think they're only doing it over the weekend now. They're not doing an entire week.
Oh, really?
It's Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, I think it's it's the week before the Onyx, basically the weekend before the Onyx. So it's I think it's the 11th through 13th or 13th through 15th or not looking at a calendar.
4 days.
Yeah, it's a quick little.
Yeah, I think it's they're only doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah,
and that's it, or something like that.
Well, I guess go to it, and then next year you'll be like, well, it's my year to go to EJS. Sorry, got canceled on you.
Bye. Too bad, so sad.
Yeah. Because I'm actually currently trying to work on building my Jeep to make it worth going. It's totally different wheeling out here. I went to AOP last weekend with the shop guys, and I didn't bring my Jeep on purpose because I'm the type of person that if they can do it, I'm going to do it. And I'm not saying I couldn't, but I don't want to break stuff.
Well, at AOP, it depends on what trails you do.
Right.
There's some stuff 35s and 20s could do on a 2-inch lift, but then there's also stuff that a 4-inch lift in 40s is going to struggle.
True.
Yeah, they went out there to do stuff that would have been a struggle if I would have made it. Probably broke stuff.
Well, you know what they say, if you're not breaking.
Yeah. I mean, I would have tried, and that's why I didn't bring my Jeep. I'm when I was at Moab, they were doing Metal Master and what other one did we do? Hell's Revenge, and I wanted to do it just to be able to say, I did it. I love that I did it because it's really Moab really is different wheeling wise. Stuff I could do in Moab, it's not the same stuff I could do out here. Here, the rocks move, the ground is literally moving as you're moving on top of it. The rocks are going all over the place. You're on soft dirt. This past weekend, I almost went off the side of the cliff. So it's totally different. Moab, you stick, you can go straight up a 90-degree angle and you're sticking to it. Versus here, you're going to slide down it.
So I'm sure all these guys were patient enough with you when you're going on these runs a lot of times guys are not patient with new drivers and especially with women. Have you experienced that a lot?
Personally, I've been very lucky to deal with people that want to teach and want to show the unexperienced or inexperienced wheelers, even women or men. I honestly haven't experienced anybody getting frustrated or pissy about taking a while or taking longer. I mean, I've heard of people that do have that or get rude if they're taking. Actually, Top of the World last year, this group was behind us. And we had a sponsored run of all women drivers, like 30 women drivers. And we were all doing, the typical Top of the World picture photo op. And they were getting like pissy with us because they thought we were taking too long. That's really the only time I've ever had an experience of that.
I remember that.
But I do know,
incident.
I've heard of it.
Well, and I do think that's part of the downside to those big events, because I've camped on Top of the World before and didn't see another vehicle the entire time for the 14 or 15 hours that we were up there. But at Easter Jeep Safari, you got every, father, mother, and son trying to get up there to do that.
Oh, yeah.
That photo op. And then they see a group of, 30 rigs and 60 plus people or however many people. And, they probably got frustrated.
Yeah.
So that's a downside to Easter Jeep Safari. I
mean, EJS is like such a big event that like tons of people go to. You just can't go out there expecting to fly down the trail. Like, it's going to be packed. It's going to have people. Everyone's going to want pictures, especially an iconic place like Top of the World. That's
right.
What people go up there for, is for that picture.
Yeah, and then people don't realize, kind of like we hit on a few minutes ago, that that sometimes Moab is a once in a life opportunity for people. So people are going to be taking
definitely.
pictures. People are going to be trying every obstacle, every line, no matter what. And so, yeah, it takes a long time, because unfortunately that week might be the one week that one person has to go their entire life. So you just got to kind of deal with it. Because when we did that Metal Masher run, I'm sure you remember, Spring, is we started out as, I don't know, 60 rigs or something like that. And we got split into 3 smaller groups because of breakdowns and stuff like that. And then we ended up getting, I can't remember if it was Jen Wright's run or somebody else's run, kind of ended up getting all intertwined with us. And
I think that was Northridge.
Yeah, maybe Northridge. Either way, there was at one point in time like 150 rigs in our one group. And I'm like, was this guy part of our group earlier? Should I be
filmed anyway? Send it.
When we started, it was like all one big group, and then we came up to that like obstacle. I don't know what any of them are called. I took the bypass before.
Yeah.
And everybody got kind of separated.
Yeah, because
I actually got lost on that on Metal Master, because I kind of like got left, and Ricky Perry with RCD had to find me in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, we had that. We had the guy from RIP that broke his drive shaft on. I don't even know what that first climb's called either.
That's where everybody
the
got
big
separated
trees are at
with
the
the
bottom,
top.
and you have to launch it up. I don't remember what it's called.
But he broke his drive shaft, and a couple of us hung back and got him turned around, got his drive shaft pulled off and turned back around. And then I know some of the closer to stock rigs bypass that obstacle anyway, and we just moved them up the trail to kind of keep things going. And I felt like I was at that one wall for like 2 hours, and then got up to Rock Chucker, and the elevated off-road guys were pretty much the only ones there.
Yep.
And then we got to, I don't even know what that other obstacle is. You kind of go up that chute, and then you got that wall climb at the end.
There was a group in front of us, like some 35-inch tires on some 2-doors that were struggling up there when we got there.
And we sat in that chute for like an hour, because like somebody either flopped or almost flopped or got severely stuck or broke or whatever. And then we got up to the overlook and took a handful of pictures, and then boogied off the trail. And then like talking to guys like Diesel afterwards, he's like, "Oh man, did you see us partying up there?" Like, "Oh, didn't even see you up there."
Right? Missed you. Sorry.
Yep. On the overlook, we're blasting music and Diesel was dancing, and yeah, it was a great time.
Yeah. So the end of that.
That's one thing about Moab. It's like an all day. Like when you're on the trail, like we would get out there like 9 o'clock in the morning. We wouldn't get off the trail until like 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, they're all long days. I mean, in Metal Masher, if you went and ran Metal Masher with like a group of 3 or 4 of your friends, you're going to be off of it in 3 or 4 hours probably.
Start at 8 and at lunch.
Yeah. So that's
Metal Masher is one of the ones we got back at like 8 o'clock.
Yeah, that's
the day we did Metal Masher.
Wow. Because that's typically how, like, when I go out with a group of friends, that's typically how we do it. Is we'll do a trail in the morning, lunch, back in town, and then a trail in the afternoon, or a trail or a lunch on the trail, depending on what trail system we're running. If it's too far away to go back into town, and in 3 days we can run
6 trails,
6 to 9 trails, depending on what we're doing.
Yep.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
EJS is not the time to go to wheel.
Right. It's time to go see your friends.
Right. Yeah. It's the one opportunity we have to see people from all across the country in one location, at one time.
It's rare that it happens.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, EJS was definitely like my intro into like meeting and making the connections in the industry, because I can't, I'm like friends with people on Facebook that work at certain companies or whatever, but I don't really know who they are. And then, like, I was riding in Jeremy Pierce's Jeep, and I didn't realize he was the owner of Rock Crawler. Like, like everyone out there is just so like nonchalant. Like, you wouldn't think that they own like these huge companies that are in the industry, and they're like normal people. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, oh wait, you own Rock Crawler.
I rode in Jeremy Pierce's Jeep last week too, or last year too, but my job was not trying to figure out who he was. I had a completely different job at that point in time.
Yeah.
We won't talk about that.
Yeah, we won't talk about it, but that's what my job was last time. Was Adam Collins and Jeremy know what my job was at that point in time. Exactly. Kind of like that.
So really quick, we need a really quick give a shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, so since we're on topic with them, Rock Crawler Suspension has been on board with us for forever and sticking with us. So we really appreciate those guys. HP Tuners is new to the game for us. So Andrew Bailey and that group, we really appreciate you guys coming on. If you guys are paying attention, you'll know that on the last episode, we had Matt from High Beam Off-Road on with us. And any of your lighting needs for any of your projects, really, but Jeep related, he can get you helped out. And then down in Alabama and North Carolina, we got Doug from Outlaw Off-Road. So if you guys are in that area, feel free to go over and check him out.
And I was just at his shop in North Carolina.
Yeah.
It's a really nice shop. It looks like
it's clean.
It's very clean. Yeah. And he's got couches, leather couches, a big ass TV if you want to wait. Mm-hmm. It reminded me a lot of a European auto parts store, like a Porsche one, that is catered to the high end,
high dollar stuff.
Yeah. And he's not expensive. So he's just willing to, make sure his customers are comfortable and happy.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Awesome. And then I know one of the guys that has been keeping me going through quarantine on his curbside pickup, Dave from Smoking Dave's Barbecue. So if you guys are in the Denver area, he's got a bunch of locations. Make sure to have a barbecue night and stop by and check him out and say hi.
So we went the first week of the quarantine when they started doing the alcohol.
Yeah.
The lady hands me this cup. She was like, "Here, this is your drink." I'm like to go? I went to take the lid off. She's like, "You can't drink that in here." I'm like, "Oh." She goes, "And I have to tell you can't drink it in your car." I'm like, "So I have to wait till I get home?" She was like, "Yes." Oh, okay, well.
That's so funny I brought that up, because we actually were talking about that today, because in Georgia, I guess, I'm from New Orleans, we have drive-through daiquiri shops, so it's not anything new to me. So they're like, yeah, they served us like a margarita to go with our food, and I'm like, okay, and they're like, well, like, how is that not drinking and driving? I'm like, well, in Louisiana, they you can't puncture the hole where the straw goes through, so we just take the lid off when we drink it. And then it's so we don't have to open the container, and then we just put the lid back on it.
I was so confused. I was like, I don't know what to do with my hands right now.
That's so country.
Yeah.
So, Spring, when you first started getting into this, so you were talking about the little Jeep meetup at the restaurant that was next to where you were at, and starting to go to some of these events and whatnot. Did you ever feel like like you wouldn't fit in, like maybe that, I don't even know what I'm trying to ask. Am I making any sort of sense with my question? Like that you wouldn't fit in, or like maybe
did you feel welcomed?
Did you feel welcomed? Yeah, that's I guess a good way to put it. Good job, Adam.
Yeah. So like the club leader, like they honestly like took me in like a little sister. Like they're like, oh, let me do this, let me say that. I'm a very outgoing type personality. Like I pretty much can get along with anyone. So it wasn't really that. It was more so like I was intimidated. Like I was like, okay, I literally, especially joining the industry and getting jobs like in the industry, not coming from a background, not knowing anything, very intimidated. But I can honestly say, like, since I've bought my Jeep, I've had a Nissan Altima, I've had a Dodge Charger. I've never had a community based on my vehicle, like ever. So having a Jeep is the first time I've ever actually had, like, I've literally like in 100 groups about Jeeps on Facebook, and like having Instagram based on my Jeep and my journey with my Jeep. It's life changing, honestly. Like when people ask me like, oh, how, like, I say my Jeep has changed my life. It literally, like, I changed my career. I've moved across the country twice. I've moved jobs. Like I've literally changed my entire life because of my Jeep. But more so like just intimidation in regards to like not like having the knowledge, but they've kind of simmered that down in regards to like teaching me it. I've been I don't know if it's like a cross the country thing in Jeeps or whatever, because I don't have that experience. But like when I joined being in the South, like the guys there are like, like, oh, you want us to teach you how to, install your lift kit? Bring us a case of beer. We'll on Friday night, we'll help you install your lift kit, but you're getting your hands dirty, type of thing. Like That's just my background in regards to like learning and my knowledge. I'm a very hands-on visual learner, so I can't, like, if you're telling me about the way a Hemi works and you're speaking it to me, you're speaking a different language. But if you show me and you break it down and you show me the different compartments and what they do and what they serve, then that's how I learn. So I'm a very, like, I want to do it myself type of person so I can learn it. And that's the Jeep community. They're like, we're not going to do it for you. We're going to teach you, and you're going to get your hands dirty and you're going to do it.
So, yeah, I mean, I think we've touched about that on that before on the show, and we've all had the same experience that we've just all been welcomed in. People are willing to help, show, and contribute.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's not even as like a rookie to the sport or whatever you want to call it. I mean, sure, we give, like, for example, we gave Rob nothing but a bunch of flack for changing fuel pumps every 5 minutes, because
let me text him real quick.
Because that's what he thought was wrong. But like, we helped him, man. We all helped him get off the trail. We all helped him. And that guy's a veteran to the industry.
Yeah, he changed a motor in like 8 hours or something this weekend.
Yeah, it'll probably blow up again.
I mean, I'm the perfect example of that. I changed my oil last month. My first time changing my own oil on my Jeep. I used to change my oil on my Nissan Altima all the time. But when I bought my Jeep, it came with 4 free oil changes, so I got them for free. Then I put the oil back into the engine through the oil filter spot, not like where you're supposed to put it back in.
Yeah.
So, I worked at a shop and I still did the oil change. At least I didn't put it like in the transmission or something.
That's not good.
It was in the correct spot. So, yeah, I mean, there's little things that I still don't know, or I still am learning.
So one question that I had for you, and this is kind of a number that I've pulled from our metrics. 3% of our audience is women. What do you think it'll take to have women have a bigger impact in the industry?
I just think like showing women, like in my job every day, we have women that come to the shop with their boyfriends, but the women actually own the Jeep, but they let, their boyfriends are the ones asking the questions or ordering the parts. And I always try to involve them, and I'm like, oh, well, what do you want to do, or what do you want to learn? I've actually been talking with lady Jeepers to try and do like a training because they go all over the country and kind of do trainings with women, like wheeling 101 type of things on how to air up your tires, how to air down your tires, when you need to useful drive, how to use it, things that I learned from my Jeep club back home. I just, like, my social media presence is something I use to, like, show, like, even when we changed my oil and I did it wrong, like, I posted that. Like, of course I work at a shop. Like, why would I post that? But I posted it to show, like, you know, like, I don't know everything. I work at a Jeep shop and I'm still learning how to change my oil in my Jeep. And I worked in the industry, the off-road industry, for almost 2 years. So I think just the intimidation part is the part of it. I think that they just get intimidated to ask questions or to learn. So they're not very active. I mean, in my perspective on social media, I'm full of, like, Jeep girl groups, and they are very active. It's just in mainstream groups, they're not really active. And I've seen it myself, where a girl will ask a question and then they're just bashed, or they're, like, talked down to because they don't know the answer. And it's kind of like, you know, that's why they went on the forum, is to ask the question to learn it, not to be told, well, you're dumb, you don't know that. Who doesn't know that?
I think that's
honestly.
Go ahead.
You know, I think that's honestly it's just the intimidation of not having the knowledge and asking for it, and I guess kind of being, like, embarrassed to ask.
And that's part of the problem in general on social media right now.
Just me, you, Adam. If any of us were to post something, you know, I'm sure there's some internet troll out there that would be like, oh, you're supposed to change your blinker fluid or check your flux capacitor. You know, there's always some smartass out there that will try to get you to think it's one way, even if you don't know what's going on.
If we can rid the social media world of those people, I think the newbies would come out more instead of having to worry about, you know, these guys are going to just bash me, or I'm going to just get flamed.
Or they're just going to fill up your inbox.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Not even Jeep related stuff.
Sure. Yeah. Spring knows about getting inboxes filled up.
That's completely, like, another topic.
So because of the coronavirus, I've seen this on, I think it was you that posted this. The dick pics have decreased or stopped completely because women are now home with their men full time.
Yeah. Oh, it's and that's another world of, like, off-roading and being a girl in the off-roading, like, in community itself is, like, I never, like, before I owned a Jeep, I never got messaged ever. And then I got a Jeep, I lost, like, some weight, I dyed my hair blonde, and then all of a sudden, like, I just get messages every day, all day. And it's mind-blowing. I've never experienced that ever. I'm like, what the heck? Like, the Jeep community comes along with, like, the support in the community, like, off-roading, but it also comes along with, like, some creepers.
The support that you don't want.
Yeah. And, you know, like, I'm a nice person, so, like, like, in the beginning, I would respond, and, like, they would say, like, hey, and I'm like, hi, and they're like, what's your number? And I'm like, why? And they're like, oh, do you have Snapchat? And I'm like, okay, bye. Like, they go straight to, like, Snapchat, and no.
Right, those wheels are $3.80 a piece, sir.
Yeah, what happened? Yeah. Whatever happened to that guy that wanted pictures of your feet?
He never. I told him $75 a toe, and he never responded.
I think $75 a toe is reasonable.
I don't know what the going market is for toes, but.
Somebody Googled it, and I was like, feet pics go from $100 to $10,000 a picture. So $75 a toe, I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, no, that seems like the discount, huge discount.
Oh yeah, that was like that starting point. It wasn't even like premium.
Premium. Premium is when the nail is polished with the color of their choosing.
Yeah, my premium is when I actually trim my
right now with the coronavirus. They don't have, like, any nail salons open, so that was like a discount price.
No nails.
No, so I'll be honest. Like, one of my most favorite things that you post, Spring, is when you decide you want to bash somebody on Facebook for hitting you up.
Yes.
And so I like to go to their Facebook.
Oh, Lord.
I like to go to their Facebook page. And I'm like, all right, like, bro, like, what makes you think you would even have a chance? Like, I don't know how old you are, Spring, but I could probably make a pretty good guess within a couple of years. But okay, I'm like,
guess how old I am.
I would say 28.
I was going to say 25.
I turned 30 in June.
Oh,
Really?
yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. So you're
Yeah.
welcome. But I'm like looking at these dudes and they're like, they're like well into their 50s or 60s. I'm like,
Haggard.
yeah, I'm like,
Not
what
just
is
50s or 60s, dude, but haggard.
what is wrong with
Yes.
It looks like Uncle Jesse.
Like when my social media first started like blowing up, my dad, like these guys in their 60s would comment and be like, "You're so gorgeous!" Like, oh my god! Like my dad would like, "Why is this guy commenting on your Facebook?" And my mom, I died. My mom was like, "Brian, it's her fans," and I'm like, "Mom, no." I'm like, "They're not. Like they're just they're called followers. Like they just follow my face." Yeah, like I do not have fans. And they're just followers on social media. Like, and I just told my dad, stop looking at my social media.
Dad, I'm blocking you. Love you. Bye.
Dad, my brothers. Yeah, I grew up with 3 brothers, so I'm like, I literally just had to tell all of them, like, just don't look at my social media. Like, don't look at it.
What's your opinion?
Like, I didn't post anything inappropriate. It's just the guys. I can literally post a picture of my kneecap, and they will have like 300 comments on it. It's weird. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
I don't get that either at all. Like,
What's your opinion on the guy that'll leave a comment that just says the creepiest comment, like, "You're such a beautiful lady"? Like, you can just read it and hear the creepiness coming through the text.
Yeah, and honestly, like that's most of the comments. Like my friends, they don't even comment on my pictures anymore. So like it's literally just guys that are just like, "You're so gorgeous." Like it's just weird. It's the creepiest comment. I don't know. I mean, I honestly I don't like a lot of people block people like that, but I don't because that is why I put my social media out there is to boost my algorithm, and the comments like that, like they're creepy, but they also boost my algorithm. So, I mean, unless they're being sexual or disgusting, then I just like it and respond and say thank you, or sometimes don't even respond because apparently, like if you respond and you're nice, it encourages it. So I just stop responding because I just don't want to come off as like those girls that pictures and like don't interact with their followers. So I at least say thank you. But then when I say thank you, within seconds I have a message in my inbox.
although I'll admit, the first time I messaged you, it was to invite you to stay at my house.
Well, no, we didn't even meet. But that's the thing is like
that was
when I was like,
that's when you were moving to Washington.
I literally. Yeah, I posted on Facebook because I have such a big following in the off-road industry, like all actual people that work in the industry. And I knew, like, if I'm in the country, like, I obviously have people all over the country that, like, I'm friends with on Facebook that are in the industry. I mean, if you murder me, at least people will know where I'm at and who I was with.
Last seed.
Random guy in his mom's basement. So, yeah, well, I posted, I was like, "Hey, I'm moving across the country. I can like sleep on from Louisiana to Washington." And honestly, like everyone that messaged me was off-road industry people. Like I didn't have any creeps message me. I was surprised, but
that's probably because their wives home.
Oh yeah, see, that's the thing.
Seats taken. You can't stay here.
Or they're in the basement, their mom's home, so. But yeah, I mean, every time I've posted, seriously posted and asked for places to stay or meeting people, hey, to be here, let's meet up. It's honestly been people that I actually interact with on a daily basis and talk to. And like I post all the time on my social media. People know where I work. They don't show up when I work and stuff. So I'm thankful for that. Yeah. It's mostly just online, honestly.
Yeah. See, I wish I had that problem that I was so good looking that women would just inbox me their nudes and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Just block to your inbox.
I'm hideous though, so that never happens.
I really don't know. I don't know women that even do that randomly. Like I've never heard of even hot guys. I've never heard of hot guys being like, "Ew, just give me a picture of her boobs." Like I don't know if women really do that or not. I know tons of men do.
I bet the Helmsworth brothers get all sorts of nudie pictures and whatnot.
There's 2 of them?
Yeah, there's 2 of them.
Oh, I thought there was just the Chris guy.
No, Chris is the more popular of the 2. I don't even know what the other one's name is, but there's 2 of them.
It's like the Baldwin brothers. There's 3 of them, but you only hear the one.
I think there's 4.
What?
But Yeah, so I'll break the news to the people that haven't seen it already. Which, if you haven't seen it already, I guess you live under a rock. But Rock Crawler recently stepped up real huge for you. You want to talk about that at all?
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I've been literally like since EJS last year, I met Jeremy and hung out with the Rock Crawler guys and rode in multiple Rock Crawler rigs. Have been obsessed with Rock Crawler, and I've wanted a Rock Crawler lift kit since EJS was last year. So like when JL first came out, they don't have a lot of options for JL for parts, and it's been like 2 years since JL. Yeah. So Rock Crawler is actually coming out with maintenance-free arm control arms, so you don't have to like worry about greasing them all the time.
Mm-hmm,
So
right.
I was actually waiting for those, but after going wheeling with my shop guys at JK Land last weekend, I'm like, okay, I really can't wait. Like, I really want a lift kit now. So I got with Jeremy, and they're sending me a 3.5-inch coilover kit. So
Nice.
I'm super excited about that. Yeah, I've been waiting for a year, literally waiting for a year to finally put a real lift kit on my feet.
Hashtag Team RK.
Yeah, Team RK. Yeah, no, we're excited for you. I know all of us are. I mean, we don't run their products because for any other reason besides the fact that they work and they work well. And
Yep.
it's
and
all.
I really like that Jeremy, and especially Jeremy being the owner. I mean, I never would think like an owner would be super active on social media and respond to people. Like I'm in a lot of Jeep groups and admin Jeep junkies, and people post daily all day. Hey, which lift kit should I get? Like why did I get this versus this? And he is actively on social media answering. Even if they post like a competitor's lift kit, he'll answer the questions and say, well, the long arm versus mid arm, like the pros and cons, and doesn't even throw out his own product, like trying to persuade them. He's just simply answering their questions in regards to what lift kit should I get and why. People also, like, he's somebody that will go out of his way and help you, and I mean, he doesn't even work for Rock Crawler technically; he just owns a shop. He's very, like, I actually talked to FaceTime with him yesterday. Coming to JK Land when I get mine in, and kind of giving me and Kevin, with the other sales guy, some knowledge of Rock Crawler. So based on my kit, like what the pros are and how it works, and what are selling points, and how to show the customer the difference, because it's not really like comparing this brand versus this brand. It's just saying like, this is what Rock Crawler can do, and this is like how to show your customer what it can do.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's when people ask me why I went the direction I went with my build. I mean, it's not even, because I like that, Rock Crawler shock bodies are black. Like it has nothing to do with that. And people will buy purely off aesthetics, but like I talk about and there's a lot of value with Rock Crawler, and you hit on a lot of it. I mean, one of the biggest values for me is like you instantly become part of the Rock Crawler family. Like it doesn't matter who you are or whatnot, but if you're willing to invest in the family, they'll invest into the company. They'll invest back into you. And, I think that's where Jeremy and that whole group of guys does it far superior than anybody else.
Plus they're always willing to,
definitely.
they're always willing to help. They'll pick up the phone. I mean, damn near any time.
Yep.
You had an issue on a weekend. I had an issue on a weekend, and
during EJS on a weekend.
Yeah. And they're there for you. So,
It's awesome that you're going that direction with it. I mean, because especially with what you do now, you have the option to go with whatever company you want to go with. And it's awesome that that's the decision you made, because it's just more proof in the pudding as to what they're doing.
It's the best decision.
Yeah, it is the best decision.
Not only are they great people and the product's great, but they're tested.
Yeah.
Right. We as a group, we've wheeled all over the country: Tennessee, South Dakota, Utah, Colorado.
We've seen a lot
Mexico.
of stuff fail.
Right. I've had a lot of problems with my Jeep, not one time was it suspension related. You know, it's always been a tip-em or a tire or a piece of glass or a shifter or, you know, something else goes wrong, but it's never suspension parts.
Everything else in the Jeep.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing that I love, like, about them as rock callers. Like, they really have, like, people from the West Coast to the East Coast deal with their suspension. And after being at, you know, of course, in Moab, like, I rode with the Jeep in his Jeep, and I love, like, it rode great. But being here now that I live in Georgia and going to AOP, I've never been wheeling in places like AOP. And see, like, you know, Travis has been there with Rock Collar, and Diesel goes wheeling, and like Windrock, like those types of places, like their suspension kills it. So, I mean, like, why? Yeah, why would I go with anyone else?
For sure.
So we're just about done here. We're going to wrap it up. Spring, we really appreciate you coming on. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Probably didn't get to everything we wanted to talk to you about, but
we can always bring you back.
Yeah, we'll save that.
Go ahead and throw out your Instagram and your Facebook names if you want to promote those.
My Instagram is Pineapple Express JL_Bay. And my Facebook is The Spring Jones.
Right on.
The in the front.
The. Not the.
The Spring Jones or the Spring Jones, whichever one. Just type in Spring Jones. I'm pretty cool.
Well, Spring, we hope to catch up with you soon in real life, not over the phone. So, but as soon as
I heard y'all are having a wheeling event out here, so.
Yeah, you can't come.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm baby 35. I forgot.
Yeah, I think we said 37 is minimum. We were thinking of you specifically when we said that.
Oh yeah, okay.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, let's hope we can catch up soon. But if not, we'll definitely get you back on the podcast sooner rather than later. Talk about some more stuff. Maybe we can dig into more of the woes of being a female in this industry and having your ignore box set up.
Yeah.
Have a beignet for me, please.
You still there? Oh.
Yeah. What was that?
Have a beignet for me.
Oh yes. Oh my God. I can't wait to go back home. I want crawfish and beignets so bad, and a daiquiri.
On the road.
On the road.
Some king cake.
Yeah. I'm a passenger, never driver, passenger.
Yeah, that's what I say too.
Yeah.
All right, Spring. Well, thanks for coming on.
We do not endorse drinking and driving.
No.
Well, thank you so much for coming on with us today, Spring.
Well, thank you.
Have a good one. Bye.
Everybody.
Bye.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, that was a fun perspective. Some of the things that we don't necessarily get to think about or have to worry about.
Not as haggard old dudes.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'd like to hopefully get her back on and talk about some more stuff. And, I'm sure we got plenty of other guests that we can line up in the future. So,
yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode and look forward to the next one. And please go back and check out the ones previous to this. And if you haven't already, go over to crawl5280.com, hit that swag link and pick yourself out a t-shirt, sweatshirt, hat, leggings,
mug,
mug,
backpacks. What else we got?
We got that's about everything.
Socks.
Yeah, we got socks.
We got socks.
We're gonna infringe on those BFG socks coming in hot.
But if you guys haven't, man, that's what helps us keep going and keep doing what we do that you guys really enjoy. And we are already brainstorming on season 2 of Kingdom Crawl, and we listened to a lot of what you guys had to say. A lot of things are going to be changed for the better. Listen to what you guys had to say. So continue to comment, continue to reach out, and if you guys do go and purchase stuff, I know it's a shameless plug, but it does help us out tremendously. So thank you guys, and we will look forward to talking to you guys soon in the future.
Have a good one.
Bye.